Hello everyone, Manithral here. Welcome back to the weekly update video for Old School RuneScape. Now we got 3 pages to actually go over because there's the Gilroy Gazette for February 2020. Just want to make sure that announcement is actually out. There's League retrospective, the beginning. It says the seed at the heart of the leagues was the idea that they might set up a temporary vanilla server that could be reset from time to time. The thinking that was that this would be a nice way for players to enjoy the thrill of the race to the top again. Plus, from a development perspective, it looked like good value. Resets would be simple and quick, and they knew a certain type of old school player would really get a thrill out of it. And they have some examples here of different tasks and whatnot, which is actually pretty cool looking. Ideas take shape. There is an early mock-up of the Twisted Slayer helmet picture, which actually doesn't look that bad. One is a little bit wider than the other from my perspective. So there's different things going on, and then there's also a community suggested ancestral sets as inspired for the Twisted Ancestral set, which failed in the rewards poll. So there is that right there. There's post-release. So there is a lot to be talking about here with the leagues. There's the adventure path, early game and adventure path. They're talking about doing that. Adventure paths would actually be kind of give you rewards as you go along, which is actually kind of nice. It would really help some players out in beginning. But there is definitely a lot of information to go over as far as, you know, looking at the Gilroy Gazette, February 2020. We also have the death mechanics being talked about in Old School. Introduction is back in 2015 when the game worlds had less production from malicious attacks than they do now. They made some unpolled changes to item behavior on death. These were only ever intended to be temporary, and they've allowed them to remain for a long time. Now they would like to get on with addressing this as promised before. So there's going to be different changes. And it says, we know that currently the game worlds aren't guaranteed to offer you good connections, so players have wondered why they don't wait until everything is fixed. It says, to be brutally honest, it's not a guarantee we could ever make. Even with all the protections that they have added since 2015, fix would still only mean that they've not yet found any problems. So they're saying there could be more problems, even though they would fix current things. So there's a lot of back and forth with that, and trying to figure out what they want to do. The key changes from previous version is a major point of feedback. Last time was that most Ultimate Ironmen have designed their activities around the current death mechanic. This is they'll therefore aim to leave them unchanged as fair as possible, whereby their items will sit on the ground for an hour on whichever world they died on, with no fee involved in reclaiming them. The survey found that almost all players like the idea of items dropping outside of instance areas if you die in one, and for the timer to count down only while you're online. So that's actually pretty big there. However, opinions were mixed regarding how high the reclamation fee should be, even though most players do agree that the game needs cash sinks and item sinks. Therefore, provide more details about what the version of this blog could be having in store. So there is a lot of information here reporting. They are actually going very, very in detail with these changes. And that's why I'm not actually reading over it, because there's actually core mechanics for natural causes, which there's 3 bullet points. Where's your gravestone? We got a lot of bullet points. There is a lot of information. I would strongly suggest coming to this page. Now, I will say in future videos, if you guys want me to read everything word for word, I will do it. But you just gotta let me know what you guys want out of these videos. Otherwise, I'll kind of just summarize and tell you what to expect when it comes to lengthy posts like these. And how long does your gravestone last? How do you get your items back from a gravestone? Which that should be pretty basic, because it says click on it. Which that's how it used to be back when I first started. So in regular, back when I started, when OSRS was just RS. How much is the fee for the new gravestone? Okay, so there's different things that items with value under 100k coins have no fee. You'll be able to take those immediately. Items with a value between 100k to 1 mil, 1k per coin item, per those items. And items with a value of 1 mil to 10 mil will cost 10k per item. Items with value of 10 mil coins or above will be 100k coins per. The total fee will be capped at 500k, which isn't actually that much. But yeah. And it says, for example, consider a ranger who keeps 3 protected items. Drops the following items to their gravestone. And they have the armadillo helmet is 10k, the chestplate and chain skirt is 100k each. The bar's glove, no fee due to low value of item. Pile of Zora scales, no fee due to low value of items. So the total value is 210k coins for that setup. Another bullet point is, how are different items treated? What about supplies I wanted to keep on the floor? What if I die again before looting my gravestone? Now this is one I will read. Your gravestone will keep its existing contents apart from food and potions, which would be dropped on the ground to form a supply pile as described above. Anything you're losing in your new death will be added to the existing gravestone. So that's actually important to keep in mind. Graves can't have infinite capacity though. If you keep dying over and over again, resulting in more than 100 stacks of items laying on the gravestone, the game will have to delete some of the stuff to make room for the items you're dropping on your most recent death. It will aim to pick the lowest value junk it can find in there, and it's worth remembering that the game can't hold unlimited stacks of items on the ground in one place, so the existing system isn't exactly guaranteeing the protection of your items either. So that is something to actually keep in mind, that there is a limitation to this game still. So that is something definitely to keep in mind. What about permanent death drop holders like Torfin? Okay, so it says Torfin and the other Dragon Slayer 2 chests charge 100k coins, as does the Theater of Blood, while the Fremennik Exiles quest and the Grotesque Guardians charge 50k. And the Priestesses of Zolgwenig is currently free. Petrified Pete charges 150 Nummulites. So, you got current fee is 50k. Proposed fee on your first death is 10k. Proposed fee after 5 deaths is 50k. Proposed fee after 20 plus deaths is 200k. Stays 50k for Ultimate Iron Man. Theater of Blood is currently 100k. It'll be 5k for your first death, 25k for after 5, and proposed fee after 20 plus is 100k. Petrified Pete is 150 currently for Nummulites, 30 Nummulites first, 150 Nummulites for 5, and 600 Nummulites for 20 plus, but it stays 150 for Ultimate Ironman. Zol Gwen is currently free. First death is 15k, free for Ultimate Ironman. 75k for 5 deaths, free for Ultimate Ironman. 300k for 20 plus deaths, and free for Ultimate Ironman. That doesn't quite seem right to me. So, and it goes, how is it different than PvP? Some items turn into cash on death, such as Anchor. This cash would be dropped to the PKer. For supplies, food, and potions, these tend to be less tradable, so the PKers should receive them in the loot pile. Any untradable items would go to the gravestone, acting as described as above. Some items can turn into something else on death, such as the Emerald God Sword, or losing its ore and Bars Kit breaking. These will tend to degrade uncharged if they have a mechanic for doing so. For example, Bars Kit would break and drop to the PKer. A charged Trident would become uncharged, with the tradable contents dropped to the PKer too. So it goes down to where it could be traded, basically, if it has that property. Items that have been protected by a Trover parchment and turned into the non-Trover version, which stays in the dying player's inventory, preserving the existence behavior. Rather than going to the gravestone, the PKer receives some coins based on how much Purdue would have charged to protect it. Some untradable items break, such as fire capes, so you would have to go and get that repaired. And Deep Wilderness, most untradable items are turned into a small quantity of cash, so that's something to keep in mind. Core mechanics for Ultimate Iron accounts dying to natural causes. It says they'll stay in there for an hour, ticking down whether you or not you're logged in. So that's something to keep in mind. Unlike everybody else, they'll appear only to the world where you died. If the world reboots, they will be lost. Oof. How is it different for Ultimate Iron accounts in PvP? It's the same as the core mechanics. Alternative approach to Death's Office, which is a lot like RS3, which you could, death charges at 5% of the GE value or equivalent. That's something that's not in there, but they're proposing it. In Survey, it says, which of these would you prefer death mechanics across the game? So this is something that you definitely need to read, because these are proposed changes that are potentially coming up. There is also the Nightmare feedback and Zolcano loot table. So the Nightmare of Ashihama feedback changes are: a scoreboard has appeared near Shura. It shows personal kills, deaths, fastest kill time, as well as the global equivalents. Right-clicking on the entry portal will now allow you to spectate. Players may now collect multiple Dracon's medallions from Kale Forshaw after completing a Taste of Hope. The Nightmare has been added to the boss kill count section of the high scores page. Whoa. That's not what was supposed to be played. The Nightmare has been added to the boss kill count section of the high score page. Players can now pay Andras a one-time fee of 1 million coins to get the unlimited free trips to Slep. The examine text for certain coffin has been updated. Messages that appeared during the boss fight are now different colors to improve readability. The volume of the Nightmare's defense sound has been reduced again. Worlds 346 US and 514 UK have been marked as the Nightmares of Mishima to help players find moves more easily. And there is more changes down here below, which you have Zolcana's loot table. So currently, Zolcana gives out 9 unique rewards to everyone who contributes to the battle, and the MVP will get an additional non-unique reward. After today's update, everyone will get a non-unique reward, but it will scale based on the number of points accrued. And the MVP will get an extra 10% just like the Nightmare Boss, so they're bringing it up to that quality. They've also reduced the number of unique Volcano drops. After this update, every kill will trigger a 1 in 500 roll, which, if passes, will add a unique to the drop table. A separate roll will then be made to decide which unique that will be. Finally, the unique is given randomly given to an eligible player. As always, the more you've contributed to the fight, the better your chances will be. Pet hunters will be glad to hear that this does not apply to Small Kano, yeah. There are plenty of those to go around. And fun fact, multiple pets can be obtained each fight. Never say they don't spoil you. Finally, the unique drop for Table 4 Volcano has been rebalanced to include less valuable items. And there's a last man standing announcement. Our efforts to rejuvenate Old School's PvP scene continue. Part of this week work involves ensuring that PvP activities have positive impact on the wider Old School experience. As such, this week they focus on last man standing. First off, the entry fee for competitive mode has been changed back to 10k. For high stakes mode, it has been raised to 500k. Now, the big stuff is they are aware of some unscrupulous types are using LMS to farm. So to combat this, they've reduced the number of reward points awarded while playing LMS in free-to-play worlds. They're hoping this will put farmers off without affecting genuine players too much, and they will be keeping an eye on the situation as time goes on. Iron players should know that from this update onwards, they will no longer be able to participate in high stakes mode. They will be able to play competitive mode, but will only get their entry fee back if they win. And speaking of the rewards, they've added Tier 6 Cape to the LMS shop that requires 100 wins to unlock. In addition, the cosmetic Deadman armor, which has no stats, will no longer count as armor and is also less heavy. So, fishing, they've added some questions to the Stronghold security to references to the old report phishing email inbox. They are trying to phase out this method of reporting scams. It says if you're unlucky to not encounter a phishing scam, the best thing to do is contact your email service provider. They will have a lot of experience in these matters and will almost certainly be able to help you. Remember, never click on a link from a sender you don't recognize, and always check the URL of any link you do intend to click on. Spelling mistakes or unusual domains are a big red flag. And it says, remember, Jagex will never ask for your password. Sorry, Kitty has to go. She is getting grumpy. They will never ask for your password and will only use the email addresses listed on this page, which I will actually bring up here. And it says, whenever possible, we try to let you know unexpected emails coming your way, and if you're ever in doubt, just ask us through the usual channels and they'll be able to confirm the authenticity of the RuneScape email. Okay, so the Jagex emails are at jagex.com, at support.jagex.com, at email.runescape.com, at a.jagex.com, at a.runescape.com, at e.runescape.com, and at runescape.zendesk.com. Those are the ones that are legit. And other news, Game World 538 has been opened for a beta test for a new hardware setup. Players are invited to log in and play Clan Wars and Castle Wars with the items from the supply chest provided. Activity in the beta will not affect your save game profile. A tile in the maniacal monkey capes has been prevented from eating any items you drop on it. Players can now rearrange their inventory while viewing their worn items in the bank. They can also toggle the worn items via view using the function key shortcuts. The Varrock Herald now includes scroll bar for ease reading. The PJ timer in the single way areas PvP worlds has returned to the usual 10 seconds. A few squares of the ocean and the water obelisk are now blocked correctly and can no longer be walked on. The locating crystal from the Shiloh village quest no longer fails to respawn to players who are certain distances from the temple site. All three colors of Chinchompas now behave more consistently in PvP, meaning that they can't be dropped manually during combat, will appear on the ground instead of vanishing if dropped manually in PvP area, and can be looted by PKers. You will now be subject to the usual teleport ban for a short while after using the Eldritch and the Volatile Nightmare Staff special attacks in PvP worlds. The Eldritch Nightmare Staff special attack has been now named Invocate in the attack tooltip. Vernalf Devere's graphical issue has been fixed, and he's back to his handsome, ghostly self. A stray brown polygon has been removed from the Dreadlocks hairstyle. The dark blue version of the graceful outfit can now be stored in the player-owned house wardrobe. So that's actually it for today. There's actually a lot to read through. I highly suggest checking this out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.